Hi, this is an introduction to number pyramids, which is an activity for elementary school, upper elementary school, and perhaps middle school students. The idea is that we have, in a number pyramid, we have a rule which is that any number is the sum of the two numbers beneath it. So 6 plus 2 is 8, 3 plus 4 is 7, and so on. 10 plus 9 is 19. So what would go here? Well, 7 plus 7 is 14. Over here, 4 plus 0 is 4, 9 plus 4 is 13. 19 plus 13, I'm going to say that's the same as 20 plus 12, so 32. So anyway, these are examples. This is a 2-row pyramid, 3-row pyramid, and a 4-row pyramid. And we're going to explore those in more depth using the worksheets. So a pyramid puzzle is a pyramid where you're given some seeds, in this case 1, 4, and 10. The seeds are the numbers that are given initially, and you have to guess what to put in the remaining cells so that the rule works. So for example, what should go here? Well, we know that we have to answer 1 plus what is 4? Well, 1 plus 3 is 4, and here we can't do 3 plus something because we don't know what the something is, but we can do 4 plus what is 10, so that would be 6, and therefore this corner number here should be 3 because 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay, so let's try this one. Well, it's not as easy because over here I could find places to get started. Here there's no obvious starting place, so I'm going to make a guess. So my guess is that what goes here, let's say it's 6. It's just a guess. So, okay, but if I have a 6 here, then I can continue. So this would have to be 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Then 4 plus 4 is 8. Unfortunately, 8 plus 6 is not 10. So my 6 was incorrect. So I'm going to erase my incorrect guesses. But you can see that by trial and error, I could find a number that would fit. One thing that's interesting about 3-row pyramids, like these two, is this space. This space here, the number that goes in there, actually can be figured out without trial and error if you notice a certain pattern. It is related to the corner numbers. So if you have the corner numbers, you can get this number if you know the pattern. So I'm going to let you pause this video and do the exercises on page 1, solve those pyramids, and from there see if you can guess what the general pattern is. You will need this pattern to continue on the next page. Okay, and you're back, and I imagine you now know what the secret is for the 3-row pyramids. So we're gonna go a little be a little more ambitious and try for 4-row pyramids. So this puzzle here, it's easy to get this number. 1 plus 3 is 4. Not as easy to get the rest, but unless I notice that there's a 3-row pyramid in there, and if you know the pattern from the previous page, then you can finish the puzzle. 4-row pyramids also have an interesting pattern, which is about the middle number. There's one cell that doesn't touch the outside, and it turns out the number there can also be guessed or figured out if you notice the pattern on how it's related to the corner numbers. So again, if you explore the puzzles on page 2, and hopefully you solved most of them or all of them, you can find that pattern, and that's going to help you finish the page if you haven't yet, and go on to the next page. So on the next page, actually, the idea is to it gives you a little help in sorting that in finding that pattern. Okay, so our next goal is going to be to make pyramid puzzles. So up to now, you've solved puzzles that I made up for you, but now you're going to make puzzles for your classmates or parents, and we'll distinguish 3 kinds of puzzles. The first kind is like this one. It's not very hard to solve because look, this has to be a 2, this has to be an 11, this here is a 9, and then I can keep working my way up the pyramid, and finally it's 38. So this was a kind of automatic. There was a straightforward way to solve it. For this kind of puzzle, I'm going to call automatic. I went on autopilot and solved the whole thing. What about this one? Well, there's no easy starting place, but let me guess that you put in 2 numbers that add up to 5. Those have to go here. So let's say 2 and 3. And take it from there. So 15 plus 2 is 17. 17 plus 5 is 22. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. And it worked. 22 plus 13 is indeed 35. So that was great. I got it the first time. But what if there was another? I mean, I chose 2 and 3, but what if I had chosen something else? So let's try it again, maybe this time using 0 and 5. And let's just see what happens. So 15 plus 0, 5 plus 5, 15 plus 5, 10 plus 5. It worked again. So what this is telling me is that this puzzle has more than one solution. Unlike this one, which had only one solution, this one has more than one solution. So who knows? Would I have been able to solve it with 4 plus 1, for example? But anyway, it has more than one solution. We know this much because we found 2 of them. We're going to call this undetermined because the solution is not unique. Okay, what about this one? Well, let's again guess some numbers. So 2 and 10 add up to 12, and let's hope for the best. We have 20, 32, 44, 32, and 44 plus 32 is not 70. As it turns out, there is no solution that will work for this starting, for these seeds. And how do I know that? Well, I didn't try every single number, but I noticed that this the seeds did not match the pattern that I had found on the previous page. 12 is not the number that I would have predicted, and that's why this is going to be impossible. So these are 3 possible types of pyramid puzzles. So you're on your own now. You're going to make some pyramid puzzles, and these are questions you're going to answer. And you're guided through various steps on the worksheets. But the first one is how many seeds should you use? Like if you just have 1 seed, is it even a puzzle? If you have, if you fill all the spaces but 1, is it interesting? And so on. So how many seeds do we start with? where do we place them? So let's say we decide, like in the puzzles I gave you, I used 4 seeds for the 4-row puzzles. But where should they be placed? Does it make a difference? Like if you put them all on the bottom, or if you distribute them in various other places? And then what, depending on what you start with, what kind of pyramid do you get? Is it undetermined? Is it impossible? Or is it automatic? And I would say that for most people, any of those three, automatic, undetermined, or impossible, are not the best kind of puzzle. You want a puzzle where it's challenging, but there is a unique solution. But anyway, it's a matter of taste, I guess. And but also another question comes up once you start making these up, which is, what kinds of numbers do you end up with? Is it, might you end up with a negative number when solving the puzzle? Might you end up with a number that's not a whole number? So these are all things you're going to explore. So good luck in making puzzles, and let's I hope you have fun and practice some math along the way.